young firm of Idris. For the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this, and born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, wish out you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness, I just kill cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA. I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again, the sound that engine in is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work, I know just who you are. See, use it. Your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that sucker shit inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist, born on side a jellyfish I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. I've been through probably offend you, this is Paula's oldest son. I know murder, conviction, burners, boosters, burglars, ballers, dead, redemption, scholars, fathers dead with kids and I wish I was fed. Forgiveness, yeah. Soldier's DNA, born inside the beast. My expertise checked out in second grade. When I was 9, on sale motel, we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate. And I'm gon' shine like I'm supposed to, antisocial extrovert. And excellent meaning extra work. And absentness, what the fuck you hurt. And passiveness never struck my nerve. And that's a riff gonna be this case. The reason my power's here on earth. Salute the truth from the prophecy. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA.
This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in years.
This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the Mecca emeritus. Tell me something, you mother can't tell me nothing. I'd rather die than to listen to you. My DNA not for imitation, your DNA an abomination. This how it is when you in the matrix, dodging bullets, reaping what you're sowing, stacking up the footage, living on the go and sleeping in the villa, sipping from a Grammy, walking in the building, diamond in the ceiling, marble on the floors, beaches out the window, peeking out the window, baby in the pool, Godfather goes, only Lord knows. I've been going hammer, dodging paparazzi, freaking through the cameras, eating $4, Brock wearing sandals, yoga on a Monday, stretching to November, watching all the snakes, curving all the fakes, phone never own, I don't conversate, I don't compromise, I just penetrate, sex, money, murder, these are the breaks, these are the times, level number 9, look up in the sky, tennis on the way, sentence on the way, Kenneth on the way, motherfucker, I got winners on the way, you ain't without a buddy on your belt, you ain't without a ticket on your plate, you ain't sick enough to put it on yourself, you ain't rich enough to hit the light escape, tell me when destruction gonna be my fate, gonna be a fate, gonna be a fate, peace to the world, let it rotate, sex, money, murder, DNA.
KBLA Talk 1580, whoo, timing is everything. Okay, so look, we have open phone lines this hour. We're doing something a little different. We're going to do a mashup of millennials. Two of my favorite millennials are joining me right now. And, of course, you at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. One of them you know pretty well, not as well as you might think, but you know him. He is the production coordinator for all of KBLA Talk 1580. He is also a producer and a rap artist in his own right. Miles Lowe, you see him every day. Sometimes we make him get on the mic, but today he's representing his generation. Hi, Miles.
Ding, ding, ding. In this corner, the millennial.
And also, you know, it's worth noting that this show, first things first, would not be at all the same. It's actually driven by millennials in some ways. introducing the other millennial in the driver's seat on First Things First. She is a graphic artist and a fine artist. She is an activist and a scholar, and she's also the booking coordinator for First Things First. More than that, she brainstorms with me and works on coming up with ideas for the show. Asha Jordan, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Thank you so much for having me.
You forgot to put your bio in, so I just made up something, even though I know all of it is true and more. These are really two brilliant young minds that I work with every single day. They're a little bit unsung because we don't have a credit roll always at the end of the show, but they do great work, and I thought it might be interesting to have a conversation with the two of you guys. I feel like millennials are disparaged a lot. You guys get a bad rap, but now you've got two generations under you. You've got Gen Z and the alphas, which are the little babies, right? And so you guys are no longer the baby generation. I guess we start with what's happening on college campuses, because some of those are Gen Z kids, right? That are mostly the people that are protesting right now on college campuses all over the country are a generation under you, right?
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And I applaud their courage. I applaud their bravery. I feel like my year, we didn't really have much to galvanize around like they do, as far as protests on campus are concerned. I was a few years after Occupy, so I wasn't, in the fray for those demonstrations. But if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I would have the courage to stand online with them if I was still in college right now.
I had someone in the chat last hour saying, Miles, that he felt, Coach Dre, it was, saying that he felt that the protests on campuses right now are helping Trump because young people tearing up campuses, these are his words, not mine, and creating unrest and mess is playing into the Trump law and order agenda. Do you see it that way?
I don't see it that way. I don't see I see how it could be co-opted. I understand that feel, but I don't think that's not what they're saying. That's not what they're protesting about. That's not what the flag is saying. That's not the students that are out there. That's not, no, I don't see that at all. I don't. Good try to spin, but no, not it.
I mean, the other thing is the so-called destruction of the campuses, I think, is being overstated. Mostly they're peaceful protests. Mostly they're people in tents. And the chaos comes when the cops come in and start beating people up and taking them off to jail. That's my take. Asha, we've had conversations off the mic about the Trump trend, though, among some millennials, especially black folks. How do you think this plays into that, or why do you see that, or is it overstated?
I feel like we feel like it's overstated because that's what we're seeing in the media. That's what we're seeing on social media, especially. And I think that a lot of these younger black Trump heads are getting, similar to the conversation last hour, are getting their information from social media or podcasts or YouTube. And these curators of these podcasts are able to pick and choose what they introduce to their audience. So I do think it's fuel for, I think that the clips of police coming in and breaking up these protests, because they do introduce the violence, they introduce the chaos into these protests. I feel like those clips are being used as fuel, as the driving force for convincing others that might be on the fence about the trajectory, the direction of like our youth, where our youth is heading. getting them over to the dark side or the right side.
Well, yeah, a lot of podcasters and social media folks don't even bother with facts or sources. They just say what they want to say, and that's why, I mean, last hour, Kwamel, no, was it? No, it was Paul, who said that if you look at most data research, people are way more likely to vote for Trump if they haven't had a college education. The less time they've spent in educational institutions, the more likely they are to vote for Trump. And I think my perception is the more susceptible you would be to spin on any topic. Trump, what's happening on college campuses, what's, inflation, anything. If you don't have the background and the tools to be able to analyze and understand the viewpoints or the agendas of people that are making these points.
100%, 100%. And I think that's why, the boomers always would say, you go to college, you get an education, you come out liberal. I mean, yeah, we came out liberal because we developed empathy for oppressed communities. We developed an understanding of, the propaganda that we were seeing. We developed the practice of critical thought, thinking through these systems and these institutions, especially that John Wood was just talking about building to preserve the Black community. I personally don't see that as being the land that we ride off into the sunset on. I don't see that being the foundation of our liberation as a people, but I do think that higher education breeds critical thought, obviously, and those folks who are falling into the Trump train are unable to separate the facts from the fiction, and that's very dangerous because we all have the same voting power.
Yeah, which varies. You know what? We're taking calls now, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Ask a millennial. No, it's not really that. It's just being in conversation. One of my goals for this radio show and the station overall is to include plenty of young voices and, other voices you don't hear elsewhere. When we come forward, I feel like the media has defined you guys, the Millennials, Generation Y. And I want to hear how you would self-define, like when we come forward, whether it's in contrast or contradiction to that, or whether it's embracing some aspects of it. One of the things that I think divides us as a community, Black and progressive, is the generation gaps among various groups and the ways that we in the media fan the flames of those gaps or choose to open up lines of communication. Today it's about those lines of communication, and you are welcome to be part of it. 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
City of Los Angeles landlords, verify your tenant's Emergency Renters Assistance Program status today. Tenants approved for rental assistance are protected from eviction for non-payment of rent through May 31st, 2024. Approved rental assistance applications protect tenants from eviction for non-payment of rent. Refusing to accept rental assistance based on their source of income is illegal under law and can be used as a defense in an eviction case. Check your tenant's application status now at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer Wet Jet and just spray, push, all clean.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Hi, this is Quentin.
And this is Brianna.
A little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu.
My favorite thing is the last bite. The last bite is nice and juicy, and it's wrapped up in some crispy breading that keeps it nice and tasty. And being able to scoop up my Chick-fil-A sauce with it, it's just like the best part of the meal. It's an undefeated combo.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. Today, you're also waking up this hour with Asha Jordan and Miles Lowe. We're talking about millennials. And I just got to say, I hear from so many of my friends in Gen X and boomers and even other millennials that you guys are lazy. You don't want to go to work. You guys are snowflakes. You're pampered. You're the everybody's a winner generation. That is not my experience. You guys both work super hard. Show up early in the morning, work late into the night. But Miles, we'll start with you. How would you define your generation?
I'll say we get the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Best of both worlds, and we are the extreme generations, because the people that do work hard, as you say, do work hard night and day, and the people that are lazy are programmed that way. That's the word I'm gonna use. Programmed to be as lazy as they are. But no, I don't think that's everybody. I'll say we're fearless. We're definitely a fearless generation. Maybe need a little bit more discipline, but running towards the conflict and towards new things and excitement and uncertainty. I think we thrive in those type of situations. So I'd say extreme and fearless.
Yeah, that tracks with what I see. Asha?
I would say that we are the self-care generation. I don't want to say the selfish generation because there is a negative connotation there, but I do believe that there's an emphasis on taking care of one's self, regardless of outside pressures and external stimuli. I'm going to stand on that.
Well, it's funny because I think Gen Z gets credit for that, right? The thinking is that Gen Z are the ones that are anti-grind life and pushing the soft life and pushing a more self-care perspective. But Asha, you say it's y'all?
Yeah, I'd like to argue that we started that trend. I'd like to argue that we decided that we weren't going to. I mean, some of us, I agree with Miles. There are extremes. There are some of us that fully adopted that hustle culture life, but in the service of their own self-interest, right? They adopted that lifestyle so they could have the money to do the things that they wanted to do for themselves, right? And whereas Gen Z, I think, is less attached to maybe like the material consequences of their attitude. They're more so in tune with the experience of life, where we're kind of more so focused. We're results oriented rather than experience based.
That's interesting. It's funny because I actually was kind of startled into some kind of reality when my Gen Z child was complaining about the old fogey millennials and you guys this backward attitudes. And I was laughing because I always think of you guys as young, and you are young. But my child was like, that's that stuffy millennial attitude. And And, I guess it's every generation that, meanwhile, Gen Xers are like, these millennials are soft. You've seen all the memes. We had to ride on flatbed trucks. We didn't have helmets on our bikes.
Right.
We were latchkey kids, and did all these things that would actually get your parents put in jail now. Um, how do you guys look at it that way? Or are you just like, is this all stuff we just talk about? I mean, I guess, for some it's a solidarity thing it creates, and then there's the whole okay boomer, like boomers just don't get it. Um,
I feel like
yeah.
millennials are entering this era where like we're not really a part of the conversation. I feel like we're beginning to occupy the space that Gen X was occupying as we were coming into our own adulthood. And that was unfortunately, culturally irrelevant, and not to put, not to disrespect any Gen Xers. I mean, I appreciate those that come before me, but I see us kind of fading into obscurity, a little bit. And that's something that I'm having to come to terms with. Like, my voice isn't as loud as it used to be as a younger, 20-something, because part of me just feels a little exhausted now, and now I get it. I don't necessarily have the same energy as I used to.
But if you look at pop culture and rising, even some of the rising stars in politics, a lot of them are millennials. I mean, the ones that have been in the game long enough to now be the big artists, the big, or the up and coming politicians. Miles, what do you say about that contrast with other gens?
I feel like, because we did straddle that fence between the pre-internet, pre-social media, explosion era, and now, I understand why somebody younger than us would say that we have a dated point of view or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I get that, I understand it, but they don't have the experience and understanding of times before then. So, no, I personally think I know a lot of us that are still full of ideas, full of innovation, full of wisdom, full of.
You guys both are.
Yeah, thank you. I feel so.
You guys
well.
both are, for sure. You guys are.
And I think that we're not the only two out here that are like that. I think we're a part of this great continuum that is going to be, waking up and coming to their own pretty soon here.
I think you guys are an underrated generation. Even on front page, the majority of the people that helped me out were millennials that woke up, got to work at 4 a.m, were millennials. And, I got to say, if I don't say it every day, thank you guys, because you guys work really hard. You put your heart, your soul, your creativity into this, and it means the world to me. I got to say that.
I appreciate that as well. But my question is, though, when did we start letting the younger generation dictate the whole narrative? Just because social media is here, when did we start letting one thing be the whole narrative? I think that there's great community spaces for every generation now.
Yeah.
There's different types of entertainment specifically for every type of subgroup of generations out here now. So I don't think that there's going to be a time where we fall into obscurity anymore. I think we're all going to have our own, Well,
now you're talking about the silo culture. All the MAGA people are over here on this thread, and all the, millennials are on this thread, and the Xers are on that app, and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So we all can have a voice. But the media, the mainstream media, which often defines, and by that I'm talking about news and such, those folks are mostly still boomers and some Gen X that are really controlling. So, I think when you talk about controlling the narrative, I don't know that Gen A, Z, or Y are really controlling the narrative. Okay, there's a bunch of people that want to talk to you, so I want to go to the phones. We'll talk to we'll talk to D out of Long Beach. Thanks for holding, D.
Good morning, Dominique. Are you familiar with the plot line to the Spike Lee film He Got Game?
I hate it when you call me and start quizzing me. I think I saw that movie, but it was like, when did it come out? Like in the 18th century? I can't remember it. What was the plot line? Refresh our memory real quick.
A Southern governor pledged to grant clemency or get out of jail the father to a black basketball player. And so he did what he was supposed to do. The son played for the state university, but he didn't let him out of prison.
Okay, so your bottom line, it's coming back to me, Denzel Washington and Ray Allen. So I know you're going somewhere with this, and we're up against news, traffic, and sports. So what's your bottom line here, Dee?
You have millions of discouraged workers. Disproportionately many are homeless and black. When more people, how do you justify that when more people in LA enter homelessness each month than who leave it?
Right. Well, I don't think there's any justification, Dee. We only have a minute till news, traffic, and sports. Quick response to what you're hearing, Dee, bringing up. Miles, go ahead.
Well, first thing I'm hearing, I'm hearing a generation gap, man. You bring it up, He's Got Game and not Power and not Snowfall, that stuff, man. So
yeah. Asha, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing, parallels between our parents telling us to go to college, get a good job, and you will receive the keys to the American dream, which is not something that we are experiencing as millennials right now. We went to college, we got our jobs. Where are our homes? Where are our 401ks? Where's our safety net that we were promised if we did what we were supposed to do?
Yeah, and I know that a lot has been made of that, and it is true. I've got some articles pulled up on that right here, but it's also true that a lot of Xers never had that either. I think that may have really actually ended with the Boomer generation on a widespread level. Pensions and safety nets and the ability to be wealthier than your parents' generation. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in, or KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Equal Opportunity Commission is taking steps to protect workers' rights to pronouns, bathrooms, and abortion. The new federal workplace guidelines released Monday are not legally binding. They do, however, instruct against misgendering transgender employees and keeping them from using the bathroom that matches their identity. The guidelines also prohibit discrimination against the woman who has an abortion. We're learning people of color are facing a higher chance of rent burden in metro Atlanta, Georgia, over white renters. A study by Zillow shows 36% of households with black, indigenous, and people of color are considered to be burdened by rent, compared to just under 29% of white individuals. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. How does 3 months of free electricity and a lifetime of energy savings sound? Well, it's yours when you go solar with Sunlux. Learn more at sunlux.com, sunlux.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Denver Nuggets guard Jamal Murray did it again last night. He hit another game-winning shot against the Lakers in the first-round playoff series. This one sent the Lakers home after 5 games and ignited another offseason of questions and uncertainty for the franchise. Murray shook off a strained calf muscle to score 13 of his game-high 32 points in the fourth quarter. LeBron did all he could do, 30 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds in 44 minutes. After the game, LeBron was asked if he has any thoughts in his mind that he could have played his last game as a Laker. LeBron paused for about 10 seconds before saying, "I'm not going to answer that question." LeBron put the mic down and walked out of the media room. There's also chatter in the streets that Darvin Ham may have coached his last game with the Lakers. Stay tuned. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you can start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Conversation with 2 of my favorite millennials, Miles Lowe and Asha Jordan, weighing in on some issues, but really talking about your generation. And I'm looking at this article on CNBC where it's saying young Americans, those under 40, which includes most millennials, even though you could be up to 43 and still be in that generation right now, that your wealth grew by almost 50% over the past 4 years. It's just not from buying homes. It's from other kinds of gains, and that your debt has gone down. According to CNBC, millennials are ditching your image as the broke generation. That said, I really feel you, Asha, because it's just harder now. It's harder to get a house. Retirement, any kind of retirement plan on a job is extremely rare. Another article that I was reading in Bloomberg about millennials says that they're worried about Gen Y and Z because y'all are getting your retirement advice from TikTok, and you know, and Twitter and may end up in some bad investments. So I guess what I'm asking you, I'm assuming that your personal wealth probably hasn't jumped 50% in 4 years, but are you seeing more optimism? Are you feeling any more optimism when it comes to, finance and futures in that sense?
I want to feel optimistic. I feel like we are approaching the surface, some of us millennials. While our wealth may have grown 50%, I'd like to see how that stacks up against the, rise in inflation and just the rise of cost of living now. I don't feel any material change over the past 4 years, but I am hopeful. What else can I be? I can't operate. I guess what I'm grappling with personally is I cannot operate outside of the system that we're living in, right? I want to, but I can't. There's no escaping capitalism. There's no escaping this America right now, realistically. So I have to come to terms with what's on my plate right now. And that doesn't leave much room for future planning.
You want to weigh in on that, Miles?
Yeah, I feel like we are, we just talked earlier, Dominique, about the stock market and how more, black people and young black people are getting involved in the stock market. I'm seeing more conversations about it, more literacy about finances, about the future. And, I see a future being strong in it. I don't think that we're where we need to be quite yet to liberate ourselves fully, but I think that we're definitely on the right trajectory. The information's out there more than anything, so I think as long as that's the case, we always got options.
Okay, we got a lot of folks on the phones. We're gonna go to Molly Bell, straight out of Compton. Good morning, Queen.
Reparations in memory of our ancestors, and God bless morning to you, Miles. God bless morning to you, Asha. And like I've had a chance to meet Asha once when I was going to be on your show, Dominique, and she had to ask me some questions. She was so polite, knew exactly what to ask me, and get my little resume together. She was awesome. And then Miles, I love your music, and the one about sometimes my pride, my ego, all of that just won't leave me alone. Just get in my way. And as a millennial, I think that some of you are not going to get your education because you're going to do it off of.
Uh-oh, how did we lose Molly Bell? Molly Bell, please call right back so you can land with that point. And one thing about both Asha and Miles, they're going to be polite to you if you call or deal with them. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Okay, we'll go to Randy from Watts while we wait to get Molly Bell back on the phone.
Yeah, the reality, I'm looking at you and Miles and the other lady that's there. You guys were lucky. We were all lucky to understand how we were going to make it, and we are going to make it in that particular way. Miles, for the last 3 years, he's there. He's on the phone, but at the same time, he's on his way to Vegas to do a show. He's working like a madman, and I'm a boomer, and us boomers, some of us did it, and some of us didn't. I mean, Dominique, your dad set a foundation for you, and you see what's needed from what you saw growing up, and you're doing it. So those of us that had a track record of making it, we're going to make it. But too many of us, some of them millennials, are dreaming. They're not going to do what the job is available because they have an idea to do something else.
Okay, so you're speaking for the generation that's on the mic right now, and I'd love to hear your response. Miles is doing a tech thing. Asha, you want to start?
I guess I agree with you. I think that I'm
But doesn't
sorry.
every generation have dreamers? I mean, honestly, you cite my dad and my mom, who are two of the biggest dreamers ever. My dad, dropped out of Howard and went into the Air Force, and then got kicked out of the Air Force and went to go be a poet in the Lower East Side, and making zero money. Then decided to spend his whole life being a poet and political activist, which generates zero GDP. I think I was shocked to hear that I have earned more than my dad as a radio person, which, unless your name is Howard Stern or Big Boy, it's not a big money job. I don't know. I just feel like there's dreamers in every generation, and a lot of the time, those dreamers are the ones that change the narrative, that change the trajectory of our country. Wasn't Malcolm X a dreamer? Wasn't Martin Luther King a dreamer? Yeah, he had a job. He was a pastor.
But Dominique, also, we were brought up under people that told us, don't let go of your dream. Hold on to your dream. Keep chasing your dream. You know what I mean? Like, literally, that's literally how our parents and grandparents told us and raised us to fight and chase our dreams. So, while a lot of people won't be able to, go to the mountain. Now I'm sounding like Dr. King talking about dreams and mountaintops. Won't be able to get to the mountaintop with you. Not everybody's going to make it there, but there is a select group of people that are able to just live in just that dream world. That's the reality that we have today. So there's nothing wrong with being a dreamer. I don't think so. I'm still a dreamer. I'm not making the money I need to make yet.
I'm still dreaming too. Doggone it. Yeah. I ain't no millennial. But look, I got to say this. That's a great point, Miles, because we are quick to say, follow your dreams, and then yell at you for dreaming and not getting a real job.
Exactly.
You want to chime in?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a fine line between dreaming and being delusional, right? And I think that so living in the digital world now really does blur those lines. And I feel like us millennials can fall into that, well, I want to be a disruptor. I want to be the one who's bucking the trend. But is that really realistic given the resources that you have, given the audience that you're speaking to? And I don't know. I like the idea of maintaining our dreams as millennials. I literally just turned 30 and I'm still thinking about what I want to do when I grow up, and not realizing that like I am grown up, but I do still see an opportunity for me to, follow some different paths. And I would hope that other millennials feel the same way. I would hope that we don't feel pigeonholed into a certain type of being or a certain way of being. I would hope that we feel malleable and adjustable, because that's what I see boomers not being able to do by and large. I don't see them being able to be malleable. I don't see them being able to be, just open to change. And I feel that that's why we find ourselves in this, predicament politically that we're in right now, with this factionalism, binary thinking, yes versus no, right versus wrong, evil versus good. I mean, we know that does not exist in real life. We know that we live on a spectrum. Life is on a spectrum. And so we need to be open to adjustments. And I hope that we as millennials don't lose that essence, which I do think is a part of like our generational core. We've always had to be adjustable. We've always had to be flexible.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I think the idea of increasing in inflexibility as folks get older, it has probably been a challenge since, and I mean, I'm talking about mental inflexibility, has probably been a challenge since forever, but certainly, as Miles, you pointed out, the millennial generation is straddling tech as an everyday reality and tech as a not reality. You guys have probably had to be more adjustable than most any generation in history. I mean, because the changes that have happened over the course of your lifetimes are just insane.
Well, yeah, and like I said, true to your core, true to knowing who you are, knowing what you will and will not accept and go through, and adapt as your own norm, because the norm is changing every day around here. So yeah.
Well, we got more phone calls, 800-920-1580. I just right now, the White House put out a statement condemning the protests at Columbia. Biden specifically saying he doesn't like the word intifada, which apparently is written on a huge sign somewhere in Columbia, condemning the protests there. I almost feel like the White House is trying to lose the young vote at this point. But when we come forward, I want to have Asha and Miles. We'll take your phone calls, but I also want to hear, Asha and Miles, your take on where we are in the top of the ticket, how you see Biden, Trump, Cornell, Jill, and RFK, or any or all of those, or if you even think about that at all, if you even care about that. Some of my favorite millennials on the show, on the mic right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
It's the farewell tour. Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, and KBLA wants to send you and the special mom in your life. Sunday, May 12th at the Kia Forum.
Make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go.
Also featuring soul icon Anthony Hamilton.
You the best of me. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
And After 7. It's a Mother's Day celebration you won't forget. Listen in for your chance to win tickets. And don't forget to wear white. It's the farewell tour with Maze featuring Frankie Beverly.
Getting connected has never been easier. Get free Wi-Fi at all LA County library locations, inside the library and outside in the parking lots. Visit your local library and get connected today.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
That was another way. I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
You guys got it stirred up in the chat, Asha and Miles. Asha Jordan, Miles Lowe. My team here on First Things First, millennials to the front, millennials to the back. What? Paul Lee says he's a millennial. Tanya Phillips says we all deserve to dream and see our dreams realized. Tanya Phillips says millennials have watched our parents work hard, give up dreams to their and often our detriment because we were often neglected as a result of them not pursuing their dreams. B. Bell of Bad Dog Bully says, unfortunately, a lot of folks don't have time to dream. Kwamel says, late Gen X here, no longer special. Sad face. I asked you guys about the top of the ticket. And what do you want to say about that? Do you want to start, Miles?
Yeah, I'll start off. Man, can I be honest? Can I be blunt?
Please be honest and blunt.
Your president and vice president might be losing it right now. They might be. They might be pushing the election right out the window.
And what is the main thing that makes you feel that way?
Well, I've been so focused in on the issues that affect me as a black male, and maybe to a fault with blinders on.
Right.
And to see how they're mishandling us.
Yeah.
And we're right in front of your face telling you what we need, what we want, as we have been for years in election cycles here. But to see how they're mishandling everything, to be in the stock market and see how their decisions are affecting every aspect of the world, and there's not too many people that are being pulled towards them, I don't know. I don't know.
So what does that mean? Does that mean a vote? I don't vote at the top of the ticket. Does it mean you go to Cornel West, RFK, Jill Stein?
I guess what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
I mean, what you're gonna do, or what you see people, your peer group.
I see a lot of my peer group willing to sit this one out unless they hear something that electrifies them and gets them to the polls, because the words right now are going to pull them for the Democratic Party. More of them are, I wouldn't say leaning toward. I don't see too many people leaning towards Trump as much as they are getting away from what the Democrats are
Biden
pushing.
Harris, yeah.
Personally, myself, I'll probably end up going the Cornel West route, to be honest with you, and then hitting the local tickets. But top of the ticket, though, if you're thinking Democrats are trying to pull it, I don't think they're gonna pull it.
Asha?
I agree completely. I think that we are focused more so on our regional and local state, elections. I think that Democrats have and will continue to lose the younger vote. A lot of my friends are completely abstaining from the national ticket. I will consider third-party candidates for sure. But I think that we're, in addition to, the president and vice president losing sight of like black-led issues, black issues that concern the black community, I think that we're also seeing America flex its imperial powers right now. And I do not think that the younger generations want to be party to this. I don't think they want to bear witness to it. I think that's why we're seeing these student-led protests, especially. We don't want to be we as the younger generations don't want to see America continue down this imperial power, this imperial, we don't want to see them continue to flex their imperial power abroad.
Well, can we play it, Miles? We can't play it, huh? Because it might have cussing in it. That new Kendrick Lamar apparently responded to the Drake Disses song Euphoria. I guess we can't play. Let's go to April calling us from LA. Hi, April.
Hi, good morning.
By the way,
morning,
note of privilege, April is the mother of Asha. Good morning, April.
Good morning, April. Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, Miles, and good morning to my lovely daughter, Asha. Dominique, thank you so much for having this broad conversation, including everyone and everyone's voice. I'm so very proud of the millennial generation. I am solidly a boomer, the daughter of two people from the silent generation, and I did think for the longest time that the millennials were crybabies and whiners, and because I had two in my own household. However, they have let me see, and they broadened my horizons. I am no longer a staunch capitalist. They have beat me into socialism. They have allowed me to see how this two-party system does not work for us. I no longer believe in the American dream, and I stand firmly behind and on the side of them, allowing them to help to guide me and continue to broaden my horizons. And I look forward to seeing the reality that they are forging for this country and this world.
Well said, April. I mean, I feel like every generation labels a generation under them crybabies, lazy, or too out of control. I call it generational amnesia or convenient amnesia. We forget the stuff we did that was worse than what they're doing, and we only remember our heroic moments. Asha, you want to respond to what your mom just said?
Well, I just want to thank my mom for her openness and her ability to see beyond the horizon, because it is hard rethinking these systems, and I really do appreciate that she has been open to our conversations and open to actually hearing us out and not just writing us off as crybabies, because what we have to say, our experience is real.
Yeah, for sure. April, I appreciate the call. And we'll have to do a show about mothering millennials or mothering Gen Z, because I think we sometimes get critique for being so open-minded to the thoughts of our children. But to me, if our campuses would be doing that right now, we would have a lot better outcomes than we're having at this point. Asha and Miles, Miles Low Music. Asha, I don't know if you want to give out your socials. I want to thank you guys both for stepping up to the mic this morning.
Thank you for having me, Dominique. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dom.
Appreciate you guys as well. Everybody knows, you should know by now, the nationally syndicated Tavis Smiley Show is up next, and he's got an incredible lineup as usual. We have a lot going on. Tomorrow is Wealth Building Wednesday. Don't forget to tap in with me on social media. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio on all platforms, but especially Instagram. And the station is at KBLA 1580. We are everywhere. Please like, follow, and subscribe. We appreciate you. I think I'll end with a quote from one of my favorite millennials, Kendrick Lamar. He says, "God to me is love." I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. And I'm so honored to have the mic each and every day on KBLA. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Equal Opportunity Commission is taking steps to protect workers' rights to pronouns, bathrooms, and abortion. The new federal workplace guidelines released Monday are not legally binding. They do, however, rent burden